Hi everyone, my name is Joe Makowicki and I am the Director of Enterprise Solutions Product Management, Development, and Engineering, and I am joined here with this discussion with Katarina Stenklo.
Yes, so my name is Katarina Stenklo. I am the Product Manager for Flex Factory, our end-to-end manufacturing solutions.
So welcome to our discussion. Today we're going to talk about enterprise solutions. Who are we? What do we do? And what is the value that we bring? And then we'll wrap it up with a call to action. So those that are not familiar with enterprise, we provide manufacturing capacity solutions to our biopharmaceutical customers. So it's about bringing that speed to manufacturing readiness and providing solutions that they need to bring therapies to patients faster. We have our flagship products, so that would be our Flex Factory. That is our biomanufacturing manufacturing solution. It is our modular facility solution. So when you take that platform, Flex Factory, and include that with a modular facility, that combination is the Cubio. And then we also have a third element, which is our Batch 360 services, which are focused around providing a complete bill of materials from a single-use connectivity standpoint to our customers. So Katarina, maybe you can talk a little bit about what is a Flex Factory?
Yes, so a Flex Factory is a modular manufacturing solution. With modular, it means that we are taking all the equipment that we have inside Cytiva that is built for making biologics. And we put them together to a full end-to-end solution, from the initiation of growing cells, or if it is synthesizing oligos, or the enzymatic reaction of mRNA. That's the starting point. And then we build up the full solution with our equipment, like building up a puzzle with pieces of puzzles to a full end-to-end solution, going from the cell culture or the initial through the purification operations and down all the way down to actually fill and finish. So that's the core.
Right.
But we are also including other things that we can do with the equipment and with the services that we have inside Cytiva.
Great, and I think it's important to mention that Enterprise Solutions has been around for over a decade, providing a lot of solutions across the globe. We have currently 160 across the globe, various product modalities. Starting early on in the industry, where the focus was mainly around monoclonal antibodies and recombinant proteins. But what we had to do is we had to evolve with our customers and evolve with the industry to expand out from monoclonal antibodies, which are still core to our offerings, but also focus on viral vectors as we saw growth in cell and gene therapies. That naturally led to having offerings around plasmid DNA, as well as mRNA and oligonucleotides to cover some of the newer things that are going on within the industry.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit fascinating that the MAB platform, that is, now we're talking big facilities, the 6 by 2,000 liter bioreactors, and that has really evolved, and we see the breadth or the width of what we can do inside Cytiva. With the mRNA, where actually the GMP solution is now, we're talking 0.5 liter is the starting point. But we are still using the same equipment in these workflows, and I think that's the beauty of it. We are taking the same solution, but modifying and building the puzzle, I would say, to fit different solutions.
Exactly. I think the way that Cytiva builds their equipment, they build it for flexibility and adaptability.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're doing with that equipment when we're putting it together and integrating it and providing it to our customers as a solution. It's not dedicated to a single modality. It's dedicated to all modalities. And it depends how you put those puzzle pieces together that really creates that solution piece.
Yeah.
So what would be the value of the enterprise solution offerings?
I would say that it is a one-stop shop. almost. So what we are doing is to support the customer of selecting by all these pieces of equipment that we have, ensuring that they are fit for purpose, fit for your process, that the process that you have. So we modify or configure, I would say, the Flex Factory based on the customer needs or the scenarios that they will look forward to be, because we will say that look into the future a little bit, dear customer, and look, who do you want to be? And we ensure that we build in the flexibility that you will need for the coming years. So it should be fit today, but also fit in the future.
So how important is the process and process understanding as we put together these products?
The process is the core. That's the heart of the whole solution. And what we bring to the table is the knowledge that we have inside the company. We do have a lot of process knowledge. Even if we are not producing the products ourselves in here, we are building equipment that should be making these drugs or therapies. So we know our equipment, but we also have process knowledge. So when we meet a customer and have these discussions, we really can find a really good solution. And we look at not only the equipment, we will need to look at where is it built, the facility. Where are you? Are you placed in Europe or in the US or in Asia? Because you will have a different requirement, and we ensure that you get the solution that is fit with your facility, as well as looking at the requirements coming from under which condition you are going to manufacture. So if it is a BSL-2, if it is a BSL-1 environment. So that is how we're picking and choosing the equipment together.
Great.
The customer.
So a lot of focus on the workflow and understanding, because in front of the customers, obviously there's credibility. And
Yes.
we bring that credibility because we understand at the very base element, which is how to actually manufacture that particular product.
Yeah.
Are there other value points that we want to talk about? There's project management, there's commissioning and qualification. Can you expand
Yes.
on that a little bit?
No, and I think one of the risks when you're expanding is, of course, you want to be quick. So one of the risks is delays. So how do we ensure that we don't get delays? And when you're expanding with a full manufacturing, buying one piece of equipment is easy. But what if I'm buying a full manufacturing? Now I'm talking about everything from 5 to hundreds pieces of equipment. And you want to receive that, you want to install that. And that is quite complex. So what we are doing here is to ensure that we have a project management going with the project, following it, ensuring, keeping up the communication with the customer, coordinating on both our side, but ensuring then communicating very well with the customer on what is happening, when is my equipment coming, when will we come to qualify your equipment. And that you think, oh, it's only valuable for the big ones with that doing the large installations.
Yeah.
But actually we have seen that it's the smaller one, that smaller customer that may be appreciating it the most, because they don't have so many people in their own facility. So when something is coming, they need to focus. So therefore they need that kind of communication. So that's the value with the project management that we are bringing in.
Mm-hmm. What about commissioning and qualification that we provide?
Yeah, no, that's another thing. We always qualify the equipment, so it's ready for you to do your engineering batches and so on. So that's on the equipment level. So we have IQ/OQ protocols for qualifying the equipment, and we know this because we have built the system. So that is what we are bringing to. But with the Flex Factory project, we can also offer a little bit extended qualification, where we're looking at the full line and doing the risk assessment, system risk and impact assessment, looking at and actually doing the validation reports and these kind of things that we are building up. So the customer are ready to go to the regulators and apply for manufacturing start.
Mm-hmm.
And normally that is quite an effort that I don't think that many customers actually acknowledge. It takes a bit of time for us to do it.
It certainly does.
But we know what to look after because we have built this already. A customer that doesn't know the equipment's in and out, they will put at least as much, 3 times as much time on it as we would do.
So it's about that speed.
And
reduce risk.
Yes.
And it's speed to first in human, or it's speed to a particular milestone. That milestone could be the end of PD, the scale-up, engineering, toxicology, or into, in fact, clinical trials. So
Yeah.
working with the enterprise organization, we enable that speed. We also do it in a way that we don't just look at something in a static environment. We look at the single unit op, but we also have to provide an ecosystem. I don't know if you can talk a little bit about how we approach it from an ecosystem standpoint, going far beyond just a single piece of equipment.
Yes, you can look at it from two ways. We can see how you connect the equipment. How do you do that? Our systems, our hardware is built to be connected. So we can say that instead of having one piece of equipment as an island, we can look at it, we can see how do you connect it up and actually gather, for instance, data that comes off the systems. So how do you centralize it? And if you have multiple steps, you ensure that you want to have your data in one place. So that's one way of connecting it. The next level would be, would you like to control your full facility from one spot instead of controlling it locally? So what we are doing, we are bringing it from all levels. We can do it with the local control and the little island of automation up to decentralizing the data to full connected platforms. And then we also have other digital solutions that we can build in for this, like custom designed manufacturing execution systems that would be lightweight MES, or digital solutions for remote services.
No, we have a number of different solutions that
Yes.
we can provide. One of them that I'd like to touch upon is the training and the education.
Oh,
We
yes.
hear quite a bit in the industry about not being able to hire the appropriate talent.
Yep.
And to train that talent, but as well and retain that talent. So can you talk a little bit about some of the training and learning solutions that we have?
Yes, definitely. I think this is also a place where we have evolved over time, because of course we started with doing equipment training on the single piece of equipment, but what we also can do is offer more training on the bigger scale, actually directed to your modality as well. But what we also been bringing in now with the new technology is looking at virtual reality training. So actually that's a way of keeping your staff trained a longer way. Or you can even start training on the instrument before you get it in your hand.
Yeah,
so I think
important.
that's a really important, and that's a one way of actually faster getting your people up and running. So imagine being trained before you have it. So when you're loading in the instruments, we are ready. Your staff is ready to actually start executing the and working with the instruments. So that's
Great.
part of what
Great.
we do.
I think what's important from an enterprise standpoint is we've been here for quite some time.
Yeah.
We're providing solutions to our customers that are flexible, that are adaptable, that are scalable. And I think we take it from the approach of an ecosystem, an entire ecosystem. We're not just focusing on a single unit operation, we're focusing on how that works within an ecosystem and how the pieces are interconnected. So, and our offering is the Flex Factory, the QBO, which is the modular facility solution, and we do that through several partnerships that we have. And then again, you have all of our single-use consumables.
Yes.
And I want to talk a little bit about Batch 360 and that single-use connectivity service that we provide, and what is the value that Batch 360 brings to our customers?
I think the value is that, of course, we know what's exactly on the equipment. That's the flow path that would be attached. But you have everything in between. You have a chromatographic system, but every chromatographic system needs buffers coming in. And the buffer's in a bin, but you need to connect these ones.
Yeah.
And every facility looks a little bit different. So what our Batch 360 does is to actually draw up the full workflow, a process flow diagram with each piece of equipment, and then they're looking even at the distance between the walls or where one piece of equipment is to the other, and ensuring that you have the right length of the tubing, that you have the right connector to be able to produce a full batch. So at the end of these kind of exercises, you would have a full bill of material, and that would also give you things like how much warehouse space would my boxes
exactly.
need, because I think that's one of the
Takes up a lot of space.
It does. So that actually makes life easier for the customer because they can plan, they can also forecast. We can also look at how can you optimize your process. Instead of having 7 different tubing lengths, is it better to actually buy a bigger pack of one length, because that gives you a better batch cost from a consumables perspective. So that's how the Batch 360 team is working with the customer to optimize and make life easier, I would say, from a manufacturing perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we're getting to know Enterprise. Again, we've been here for a while. We have an extensive portfolio of solutions. Mm-hmm. And again, these solutions contain our equipment, our consumables, automation, digital, as well as a number of supporting services, because we've many times have worked with the PDVS organization, where we were doing process development while we were, for a customer, while we were doing the build of the Flex Factory, and then the two come together, and they come together seamlessly. So we are an organization that works across Cytiva, and we bring in the best elements of Cytiva into our solutions. So let's, as we wrap it up, what would we have as a call of action? What would you want the audience to know?
I think that we are here to make an expansion project much simpler, because as a customer, you're doing it once in a lifetime. We are doing it regularly, several times a year. So for us, this is our daily work. So we can really help you to accelerate the journey, to get your product out to the market much quicker.
And I do think it fits the mission and the vision of Cytiva, and it's about the patients. The faster that we can move, the faster that we can support our customers and get them to their milestones and then their market faster, means that new therapies are getting to patients. So I think with that, we'll...
Thank you.
Yes, we'll call it a day. Thanks, everyone.